Hello, this is doing another video. That's fine. Lovely. So I was just watching some, they call them anti-vaxxers. It's always very proper, a lot of propaganda. They never turn around and say, well, we're pro-vaccine or pro-vaxxer, because you'd have to be the opposite. It's a bit like anti-conspiracy, or someone says something and then you club it together. And what they try to do is they push them to the edge, or fringe theory. So they say, oh yeah, well, you must believe in this as well then, or you must believe in that, and then they sort of dress it up. It's like somebody who says 9/11's fishy. Oh, that's because you're a conspiracy theorist. No, maybe it doesn't add up. Maybe some stuff that just doesn't add up. I mean, I've passed caring, to be honest. If somebody wants me to pretend their version of reality is true and it doesn't add up, then I can't follow it. It's just not going to happen. And that doesn't make me a conspiracy nut. It's a healthy skepticism. People just tell you. It's a bit like you go to work, you work for a manager, the boss makes loads of money, and to assume that everything he does is in your best interest would be crazy. I mean, it's in his interest to look after you, because your work and labour feeds his finances, but he's not going to take a pay cut to make sure you've got more money in your pocket. He's going to pay out himself a bonus, and that's it, really. So, it's kind of been realistic. I mean, you can be dumb about it or not. People just tell you things and say, I'm in a position of authority because I've got a degree in this or a qualification in that. Very much so is that you get these people that say they've got degrees and qualifications, but they only push narratives. They don't talk about what could be true and could not be true. They only have to state exactly what they've been taught to say. So it's an observational. It's not some sort of paranoid delusions. That's what you see when they cherry pick people to go and tell it. They don't just stick anyone on there. And there's a lot of weird stuff, yeah. So, I mean, going back to the vaccine, because it's an airborne virus, and because it seems to have a sort of AIDS delivery system to it, I'm not sure anything can completely vaccinate against that. It will cause harm internally when it gets the opportunity. But then it's like a lot of viruses. There's a lot of things that hang around in your body that would cause problems if your immune system would let them. Like, I know people got the wart virus, for instance. They turn up when your immune system's suppressed. Warts turn up. I mean, somebody had. I saw this thing. This guy had his immune system was. I don't think it was compromised. It just didn't sort of recognise this wart virus. And it turned him into the Elephant Man. His skin turned all scaly and all sorts, which is a bit unusual. There's some other weird, interesting things. So I don't agree with the culling of a load of minks because they've said they've got COVID positive. They might have any type of COVID virus. It might be completely different. The minks might have their own virus they're dealing with. It's a bit like apes and monkeys have a type of AIDS virus. So should we wipe them off the planet? Because they could be a risk to somebody in some way. It might eat them or something, or it might get some sort of blood transfer, some fluid transfer. So it could be a bit of an overreaction. And I'm all for herd immunity and sort of basically there's a certain amount of survival of the fittest. I mean, if people are compromised, then seeking out a way to advance themselves is also the kind of the mental evolution of our species, because where the body is limited, the spirit and the mind and will kind of excel. And I guess when I talk about mind, it's not just limited to the collective constructive thinking of the brain, but also the emotional intelligence, instinctive behaviour, all these kind of elements that are brought to the table, basically. But my challenge for somebody who's heavily into vaccinations or promoting them is, are they willing to take them all? Would they go on TV if they're going to say, oh, they're safe, no problems, they prove they didn't have autism. I'll tell you what, we take their family and we'll inject them all with vaccines, and also we'll inject pregnant women with vaccines, which I don't understand really. Their immune systems could be going under certain changes for the child now, and then you want to stick a strong vaccine in there. See, what might happen is they may develop something like MS. It's not impossible, or some other health problem. It's because they have a hyper response. It becomes overreactive, their immune system, because the immune system kind of resets itself at a point when you're pregnant, because it doesn't want to attack the fetus. So it basically, the baby at some level, oh, what are you doing? Go then! Jesus! I've got cars behind me. Dumbass bloody thing. I mean, if someone's going to do something, fair enough, but then bloody hang around in a mouth of the road trying to stop me. It's bloody irritating. That's a bit of microaggression, road rage there. No, it's just got someone behind me, and I have to take blind faith that they're not going to run through my arse. Yeah, so basically, if someone's going to start spouting, oh yeah, they're safe, this, that, I say, okay then, would you be willing to be a test subject? I just wanted you to demonstrate how safe they are, and to take a dosage of it. And also, I mean, people, if they think, oh, they won't have much, but maybe it have some ill effects or after effects, okay, well, how much dosage do you need to take before you feel sick from it? And things like that. Are they willing to actually show this information? I'd like to see the science that they profess as it's true and fine, because it's faith-based science, which is religious. I mean, it's the same with a miracle. It's something you demonstrate, and maybe you can't question it because you don't have the science to back it up. But if you see something, however, it becomes an indicator of the truth, whatever that might be. I mean, it might be open for interpretation like science. However, it's evidence of something you believe in, and you know, it's what people look for, signs of something, signs of their belief or their faith in things. But if you're kind of very critical thinking, you remove yourself from that, and you can only really back up things that you're willing to demonstrate yourself. You know, you can't rule things out. I mean, all it comes down to is like slander, and then, like I mentioned before, people go on about fringe stuff and say, oh yeah, you're a part of that group. And I say, no, just because it doesn't add up into your narrative doesn't mean it's a part of mine. At least I'm willing to talk about it and think about it. I mean, all these people that say, oh, science this, science that, but they haven't got any qualifications, a lot of them, when it becomes the faith-driven. And I think it's more, it's probably Luciferian, actually. It's Lucifer, probably angel of science. Take things apart and build, and that's why he felt he had a right, a greater right, because he was a higher being. It's the ego, it's the egotism that you find also in some scientists that assume because they're in some sort of position of power that they automatically have power. It's something completely different. I was just pleased to sign off and have a great one. Bye.